Hello and welcome back to another episode of Avoid These as Killer. And for today's video, we're gonna talk about the Huntress. If you're new to the game and want to play as Huntress as your first killer, then this video is for you. Alright then, without wasting any more time, let's jump straight into the video. Number 1. Don't use arc hatchets for long distance. Basically, there are two types of hatchets, arc hatchets and charge hatchets. Charged hatchets require you to hold M2 or your power key until your hatchet is fully charged, while arc hatchets can be used immediately. Charged hatchets could be useful in long-range attacks since they are faster and they can also cover long distances. On the other hand, arc hatchets are useful for short-range attacks because they can be immediately thrown at survivors and they can also go over pretty much any objects. That is, of course, if your placement is correct. When you use arc hatchets to try a long-range attack, it will have low speed and also it covers only a short distance. So in many cases, either the survivor will have enough time to dodge or the hatchets won't even reach them. That is why it is wise to use charge hatchets when going for a long-range attack. Moving on to number 2. Don't start chase without hatchets. You see, the hatchets are the only power of a Huntress, and her movement speed is lesser than an average killer. So chasing survivors without hatchets will not only make you an M1 killer, but also due to the less movement speed, she will be weaker than 1. That is why it is best to always consider loading hatchets over chasing survivors. The best time to load hatchets is as soon as you down a survivor, because you can always expect survivors to be around if they want to do a flashlight safe or if they just happen to be doing objectives close by. And if you find one as soon as you load hatchets, then you are ready to deal with them. But what if you ran out of hatchets during a chase? In these cases, you can force the survivor into a corner and then quickly reload hatchets. This way, the survivor won't be able to gain as much distance from you as they would if you leave them in open areas before you go to reload hatchets. Number 3 on the list. Don't hold hatchets in a loop. When you hold down the power button and load your hatchet, the movement speed of the Huntress will decrease. And as long as you're holding the hatchet, the Huntress will move at the decreased speed. So while in a loop, if you decide to hold your hatchet and keep chasing in that state, you are actually moving at a slower speed and allowing the survivor to gain distance from you. Also, if you hold hatchets for that long, it will become a charged hatchet, which is not really required at a close range. Instead, use arc hatchets, which can be thrown immediately and can also be thrown over many objects. Moving on to number 4. Don't bait pallets from a distance. As a Huntress, you can take advantage of animations such as pallet drop and window vault to make sure you score a hit using your hatchets. If you don't know, it's a minor trick where you throw a hatchet while the survivor is dropping the pallet because they can't dodge it while they are in animation. But many people don't do it the correct way. Let's say you're chasing a survivor on a pallet loop and you see they are about to reach the pallet, so you start loading the hatchet and expect them to drop it. But smart survivors will never drop it when they see you load from a distance. Instead, try to meet these two conditions. First, let the survivor go through the pallet, and second, make sure you reach as close to the pallet as you can before you charge the hatchet. In this way, if the survivor gets greedy and does not drop the pallet, you can punish them by switching quickly to M1 attack or just by throwing your hatchet. It depends on the situation really, and let's say if they do drop it, then you know they can't dodge your hatchet. And the last but the most important point, don't throw hatchets inefficiently. Many players lose their focus and start throwing hatchets inefficiently, which will become a pain in the long run. You see, when the survivor is at a short range, they will try to juke your hatchets by moving from left to right and vice versa. Your aim shouldn't follow along with the survivor's movement. Instead, keep your aim at the center of the screen and wait for them to come into your aim. Don't be quick on releasing the hatchets. Let them juke first and monitor their movements. Analyze how they move and try to predict towards which side they will move when trying to dodge. And at the long range, most survivors won't even try to dodge your attacks since they are not in your line of sight and won't expect a flying hatchet to come their way. But throwing hatchets at a long range requires skills not only in aim and accuracy but also in prediction. These skills will develop with the time and effort you put in to learn Huntress. So I recommend you to play Huntress and focus on how survivors try to dodge at short range and also try to predict their movements at long range. This will take time, so be patient and keep practicing. Alright then, that's it for today. I hope you guys learned a few things from this video. If you did, then please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It will only help me grow. Also, if you have any tips of your own that you would like to share, then feel free to let us know in the comments down below. And before ending the video, I have a gift for my annoying little friend here as a thank you for helping me make this video.